Greetings and welcome back, everyone. This is the Angry Chicken, the podcast all about Hearthstone. I am Garrett, joined as always by Jocelyn. How are you doing on this fine Wednesday evening, Joss?
I am doing pretty dang well, Garrett.
Just pretty dang?
Pretty dang.
Pretty dang. Nice.
Pretty dang.
And I'm just gonna switch screens for the video for no particular reason.
It's fine.
I'm really excited to talk about that Masters bundle.
It's not like we've been doing this for like 350 episodes or anything, and we should maybe know what we're doing. We're like brand new to this, so yeah.
Yeah, we're very
slip-ups
new.
happen.
I've only, Jocelyn, as I believe of June. If anyone out there knows when the Wings of Liberty beta started, but I'm pretty sure it was June of this year, 2020, will mark my 10th year of podcasting.
Damn, dude. Congratulations.
Yep. And so, also, I just turned 1 year older. I'm feeling really old this year, Joss. I'm like, wow, yeah. I actually have been doing one thing for a decade.
Celebrating a decade of something, that's a lot.
Yeah, kind of crazy. And obviously because of birthdays and crap, and it like being like not a particularly celebrated year that you turn, I'm thinking about my age a little bit. It's fine. I don't know about you. I like my 30s more than my 20s. Having a good time. But
yeah, I'm on the fence.
But
every time I get a new acre paint, I'm like, ugh.
Well, yeah, that does come.
But then I look at my bank account and my car and my house, and I'm like, 30's better.
Yes, that's it. There's a lot. I have a lot more freedom and self-agency than I ever did in my 20s, and it's that part is nice. But if anything is making me actually kind of feel a little old, it's the fact that I've been doing a thing for this long, and I've been thinking about that a lot because birthday hits and you start thinking about age a little bit, but. We have quite a bit to talk about today. We got a great show for you. We're going to have our Battlegrounds segment as usual, but we will be saving our Battlegrounds discussion for then, except for maybe a light allusion to it when we talk about cards, because we may be talking about a card that just got released for Standard that we've been playing with in Battlegrounds for just a while. But before we get into that, we wanted to talk about the Year of the Dragon bundle, something that I almost entirely forgot about. And you added it into the notes, Jocelyn, and I was like, oh yeah. We need to freaking talk about the Year of the Dragon bundle. This is a little insane. That I feel dumb that I almost forgot it, and it's actually kind of a big deal. Normally, I don't get too excited about anything that's just like added to the store, but we've never seen something sold in Hearthstone quite like this, and it's because these are custom packs.
Yeah, these are like mixed packs. So whenever we've seen these bundles in the past, it's been like, 10 from the first expansion, 10 from the second, 10 from the third. But this is 25 packs and a free legendary. And the 25 packs are Year of the Dragon packs, which means each card in your pack of the 5 cards can be from any of the 3 expansions, which is really kind of cool. And this is totally anecdotally. I don't know if this actually is the rule. It could just be like #JossLuck, but I did actually manage to get a legendary in my 6th pack. So it seems like these Year of the Dragon packs will actually reward you the same way it would if you were opening like 10 packs of a new expansion or something, because they have that like not really bad luck protection, but they have, all new packs have, first 10 that you open, you get a legendary, and then it's, 1 in 40 packs or better from then on. So it's, a pretty good deal because you're guaranteed the legendary just for buying the bundle. And then it seems like you're probably also guaranteed a legendary in the first 10 of those 25 packs. So I think it's a really good deal. It's $20 for you guys down in the States. It was 25 for me up in Canada because exchange rates. But yeah, it's pretty cool because it also funds the Hearthstone Masters Tour. So this is the new esports bundle for this year, basically.
Yeah. And that being said, like this is all awesome, but let's go into the Butt Town. Let's go into Butt Town, Jocelyn, because that the amount that can be contributed is once again capped.
Yes.
They are capping how much could potentially be contributed to, granted, a lot of money, $1.5 million.
Which I feel like is double last year's. If I remember correctly, it was 750,000 last year was the cap. I could be remembering that wrong, but 750,000 stuck in my head.
That does sound correct as well. I did a some quick digging and I couldn't find the old post from 2019. But yeah,
this does seem higher though. Although I will also say, I think last year there were less Masters Tour events. Again, if I remember correctly, this year there's actually 6 Masters Tour events. So the 1.5 million is going to be split between the 6 different Masters Tour events. So we've got our first one is actually coming up this weekend in Arlington. And so this bundle will go to fund Arlington. It has a base prize pool of $250,000. This Dragon bundle is going to go towards that, even though it's going to be available through February 11th. And obviously Arlington finishes on Sunday, but any money, raised by this bundle will also go towards the prize pool in Arlington.
Yeah. I want to see them just get rid of the max that can be contributed. And hell, don't even I don't know. Just let it keep going.
Yeah, and I feel like we talked about this last year too, but I definitely fall into that category too of wishing that they would just remove the cap, because they've already got one kind of cap built in anyways, because you can only buy this once per account. It's giftable. So like I could buy, 10 of them and give them out on the stream or something. And that's okay. You can do that from your account. But in terms of actually being able to buy them for yourselves, it's already capped, right? So I'm kind of like, I'm on the fence about this because it feels like they're, slowing down the contributions twice over, right? They're capping the actual money it can raise, and then they're also capping the amount that you can purchase on your account. And if I remember correctly, again, like I wish I'd looked this up before the show, but I feel like it was like 100% of the revenue last time went towards the cap, wasn't it? Because they very specifically said this time 50% of the revenue goes into the esports, the Masters Tour prize pool. But
without having that in front of me,
it was 100%.
Without having that in front of me, I'd rather not comment on it.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember if which way it went, but I had it in my head that it was 750 and it was 100% of the revenue, because we hit the cap really quickly last time. And I'm sure that combined with more Masters Tour stops is probably why the cap has been raised. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Still a sizable amount of money. I would just like to see something along the lines of the international. I'd love Hearthstone to make headlines, because we just blew expectations out of the damn water regarding prize pools. But I don't know, maybe baby steps.
Well, they did something kind of like that, right? With the global games, not last year, but the year before.
I'm sorry, the what?
Not this year, but the year before. The global
esports
games
that everyone watches. Yes. The really popular Hearthstone esports that everyone just loves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Just making sure. The premier Hearthstone tournament. Oh, it's not Grandmasters? Then who cares?
What I was going to say is that with the cheers thing that they did on Twitch, about a year and a half ago now. I mean, it was ridiculous because Team USA got like 13 million cheers, and then the next closest was like 1 million cheers. So it was very...
USA!
Yeah, it was very US biased.
I'm gonna smack talk HGG, and then I'm also gonna
chant. You're gonna cheer for America, because that's what Americans do. Yeah, I get it.
I prefer this because my old, not hip, and with it or understanding cheers in Twitch is much better at this. Although I probably won't need to understand it that much longer, since Hearthstone Esports is now exclusively broadcasted on YouTube streaming.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Garrett, but I mean, most of the time, I had been paying pretty close attention to Hearthstone esports in previous years, but I've definitely fallen off. And we had a bit of a gap, you know, from the World Championship at BlizzCon to now Arlington at the end of January. Like we went all of most of November, all of December, and almost all of January with like no major real Hearthstone esports to speak of. So I kind of fell off a little bit. And still, the number one place that I used to find and watch Hearthstone esports, whether it was, you know, Grandmasters or the Masters Tour or whatever, was because I was already on Twitch. Like I'd be, you know, Saturday morning with my cereal and my coffee laying on the couch. And my first thing I do is, you know, go and hit the button and see what's going on Twitch. And yeah, Hearthstone isn't going to be there anymore. And that's kind of sad because I don't think I'll watch YouTube gaming. Like I don't spend time on YouTube at all. So you, Garrett, are much, much more in the YouTube like space. Like you've even talked, like we've talked off air before about how you're not even really, you know, consuming that many podcasts anymore. You're watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos. So, like you're very much in the YouTube space. So do you think it might actually increase the amount that you're watching Hearthstone? Because it'll just be like, I'm assuming like popping up and being like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, actually. I watch a good amount of live content on YouTube. I would like to get personal for a moment since you made it personal, Jocelyn, by sharing my personal off-air thoughts with I'm giving you a hard time.
Oh, I was like, I'm sorry.
This is totally okay.
YouTube was like super close to your heart and, you know, personal. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean to out you as a YouTube watcher.
Yeah, no, I mean, in my personal life, like I just spend a lot of time editing, like video stuff now. I've started taking on a lot more videography freelance, and that means I can't listen to podcasts. Back when I was doing mostly graphic design freelance, that is a silent project. You sit there in silence and you make art. When you do a video, you have to listen for things so you can make your cuts on time. And so because of that, I am now watching a lot of YouTube in my evenings when I'm done working. And listening to very few podcasts. I do miss them, but they just don't fit into my workflow anymore like they used to. So yeah, I consume an absolute ton of YouTube content. I don't watch that much live. Pretty much only watch drift racing live because they don't broadcast it anywhere else. I
legit had no idea YouTube gaming was still a thing. I had thought that they took it out back and, you know, Old Yeller did. Was it Old Yeller? I can't remember. Anyways, there's some real sad movie that I've never seen. Yeah, I thought they did that to the gaming section of YouTube, but maybe not.
I mean, I didn't even know Facebook gaming was a thing, and then they took Disguised Toast. So
yeah,
I love saying they took. Like they came in with it wouldn't be a black bag, it would be a blue bag with a white logo on it. And,
full of money, stole them away,
and then threw it over a toast-shaped head and drugged that person to YouTube to stream. But yeah, I mean, like personally, not going to affect me that much. I watched most of last year's Hearthstone esports on VOD after the fact in the morning with my coffee on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of different platforms with a lot of money to throw around, vying, like taking the fight to Twitch. I mean, it honestly reminds me a little bit of like the console wars growing up. Because like I remember like I had just missed the Atari kind of phase. Like my first console was a Nintendo Entertainment System, and I realized there were competitors at the time, but it really felt like that was kind of it. But then when the Super Nintendo came out, it was like Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis, and this reminds me weirdly of that. Like now you've got Mixer, now you've got Facebook, now you've got YouTube. And they're not just launching their platforms and hoping that they come. They're not just sticking to the old build it and they will come. No, build it and throw money at them and they will come. I obviously don't know the details of this deal. But
yeah, they talked a little bit about how Blizzard was getting some of the like cloud tech that Google offers. And now whether that's for actually like serving their games to clients or if that's just for, you know, like saves and things like that, or if those are actually going to be like the servers we play on, I don't know. They didn't go into crazy detail, and I've got to assume that there's probably some money piled on top of those servers. But yeah, I don't know. I was really confused because, I mean, I guess Amazon is just not like Twitch is such a small part of Amazon and what they're doing. Like, I guess they're just not that concerned. Like Twitch still is the top of the video game streaming platforms. So YouTube obviously flexes a lot of muscle in the, like uploads and watch it later. But when it comes to YouTube Live, they don't hold a candle to Twitch. So maybe I think Amazon's maybe just like resting on their laurels a little bit, and they should maybe be trying to make these exclusivity deals. Now, we've seen them make exclusivity deals before with like smaller parts of Blizzard, but this is all of Activision Blizzard. So this is like all the Call of Duty stuff. This is Overwatch League, like everything. And I feel like maybe Amazon should start paying attention to stuff like this, because I feel like this is a bit more of a big deal than, individual streamers. As big as those individual streamers are, I think that there's a lot of people trying to make a lot of money on esports, and there's a lot of investment in that space. So being partners is probably something you want to do from a like company perspective, I would think.
Yeah.
I'm I mean, Amazon has all the same server tech, right? So
yeah, and also Blizzard has taken a bit of a step back in esports. In most of their avenues outside of Overwatch League. So who knows? I mean, there's all kinds of places to, I think, speculate why they did it. I'm sure some of it was some sort of stability, maybe taking certain things off their plate, and I'm sure a whole lot of it had to do with money in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Everything is money when you come down to it, whether it's actually like dollars changing hands or services changing hands. Like all of it is, both sides trying to get the best deal they possibly can, right?
Yeah, and there's so much speculation and so many opinions, and I think interesting debates about like at least around major streamers leaving and people being like just comparing numbers to numbers, and you are seeing like the major streamers when they leave Twitch, their numbers do go down, but it's like, yeah, but they're probably getting a much larger portion of ad revenue. They probably got paid up front. Like there's a lot of other ways where that's just more worth their time now. And however many viewers fell off, it's probably still worth it for them.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like all of those big deals are very much like, I mean, if you move and even take like 50% of your audience, it just basically these deals are rumored. I don't think anyone has actually come out and said how much money they've been paid to move platforms, but these deals are in the like multi-millions of dollars. So it's like, man, if you were a content creator and just all of a sudden didn't have to worry about making money anymore and you could just focus on the content, I mean, the size of your audience stops mattering and you can just focus on having fun and making good content and not worry about the dollars anymore. Like the amount of stress that takes off your plate, it's crazy.
The range for Ninja via GameSpot was between 20 and 30 million, FYI.
Yeah, exactly. Like
gross. Like good for him, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's
like
insane.
And I don't even know, like I haven't watched anyone on a different streaming platform. Like I'm definitely one of those people who stuck to Twitch, and not because they are, particularly amazing, or I think that their, communities or policies or anything else are better than anything else out there in terms of Mixer or Facebook or YouTube or whatever. It's just that like I'm literally lazy AF. And I'm like, I'm here, I exist here, I have the apps on all of my devices. I'm just lazy.
Funny enough, that's the main reason I started watching live things on YouTube, is because I have Rokus in all of my rooms and they don't have an official Twitch app for Roku for some reason. So I just started spending a little more time on YouTube. So like last year on E3, I watched it on YouTube instead of Twitch, and it has snowballed. I am weirdly watching more, but again, that's more of like me being an old man. And it's like, I have a Chromecast. I could sling my phone to my television, but the Roku has a built-in remote and I don't need to touch my phone and look at Twitter and see someone calling me a jerk for some dumb thing I said on a podcast last night.
See, yeah, and like we have a Chromecast, it's like what we default to, and even though we do have like apps built into our TV for like Twitch and a whole bunch of videos, like most of the time I'm just, again, too lazy to pick up a remote. I have my phone in my hand anyway, so I just Chromecast whatever I want from my phone, and it's easy. But yeah, I don't have a YouTube gaming app on my phone. Is there even a YouTube gaming app?
There's just a YouTube app, Josh. You can watch whatever the hell you want on it. If it's on YouTube, it's on the YouTube app.
I didn't know that.
It's actually,
this is how little time I spend in YouTube. YouTube has never been my
I'm gonna
jam.
sound like such a YouTube shill. Like I don't have a pony in this race. Okay, we barely get 1,000 views on YouTube. Our audience is on the podcast, but yeah, it's actually really nice. Like if you're searching for a thing and there's a a relevant big live event, it shows up with the on-demand videos like normal ass YouTube. It's
today I learned
surprisingly well put together. I really enjoy it. But anyway, this is a long way around to say we're going to be watching our Hearthstone on YouTube from now on, and not just because it's the VOD after the fact, and it's me in my pajamas with my chihuahuas and my coffee in the morning. Really wanted to paint a picture for everybody.
Yeah, that was great.
I had to throw pajamas because I would just assume everyone thought I ran around without them. So yeah, you're welcome, everybody. Your mind's eye is welcome. And then we have Arlington. It's, speaking of which, and where we'll be watching it, it is this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And we know basically nothing about Grandmasters this year, so this is a little odd.
Yeah, so I wanted to have a conversation. They put some of the they put the official Grandmasters rules out, I believe yesterday. And thank you to person on Twitter who tagged me in Boar Control's post, I think, of the rules like that. Thanks for pointing that out. I definitely missed it. So yeah, they did put the rule book out, but they haven't put a post up with the official Grandmasters. And I don't know why, but it's like there's some really big question marks with who actually is a Grandmaster this year. Like, we're pretty sure that we know most of them, but we also know like Amnesiac quit. And I believe that Blitzchung's ban is going to be done soon. I don't think he can compete in Arlington, but I think it should be kind of over relatively quickly, definitely before April when season 3 starts. So I do expect him to be playing in season 3, but like, yeah, I don't know. I have questions, Blizzard. Why, when you have a Masters Tour event coming up, do you not have your list of season 3 Grandmasters? It just seems, yeah, I don't know.
I think we just need to make peace with this. I feel like every year we kind of have this conversation of, seems a little late to not have hard details about Hearthstone esports this year. And now I would be surprised if we already had details, frankly, because it's just kind of par for the course. And last year I just assumed it was because they were switching to Grandmasters. It was a new thing. They had to invite people because they didn't have, not everyone was just brought in via actually qualifying for it, which is its own big debacle and yada, yada, yada. And they're going to have to figure something out again this year, like you said, because there's some gray area as to who even is a Grandmaster. I hadn't even honestly thought about it yet. You know, I'm honest, like, and this isn't me like doing a bit or being grumbly. Like I was watching Firebat stream the other day. I'm actually watching a decent amount of Hearthstone streamers for the first time really ever, like since like beta, because I want to learn more about Battlegrounds. And it's someone like in his chat was just like, hey, you gonna play any standard? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna play it later today. Also, I'm a Grandmaster. I'm gonna be playing quite a bit of it very soon.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he also said he was going to Arlington. So,
which, and I mean, Arlington, so Texas, for whoever was asking, because I guess you guys have lots of Arlingtons in the States. So it's Arlington, Texas. And there's 360 players that are qualified. So we assume that includes a lot of Grandmasters, but I don't know how many are actually going to go. There's actually been a couple of Grandmasters who have declined their invitations because of the coronavirus, which we were, talking about and riffing on a little bit in pre-show. But yeah, it's actually a serious like travel concern. So there's some of the Chinese players, and actually I think Lion as well, like our reigning world champion, will not be traveling to the Masters Tour in Arlington. So
yeah, that's a huge
I think
bummer.
I want to say it was Psycho also was another one that's not traveling. Maybe.
Yeah, and I believe it was just visa issues, but Raven won't be there, sadly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I saw him tweet today that he was having visa issues and sadly will not be there, which just stinks. I legitimately like Raven as a caster, not just because he comes on the show and is nice to us.
Yeah, I like him as a caster and a person. But yeah, so there's been some people backing out already, and like I said, we don't have the Grandmasters list yet, and I don't know. It seems odd that we're, at the point of our first tournament of 2020. And yeah, I don't know. I feel disjointed and I have questions and I don't have answers. And
at the end of the day, I would like to put the same advice out to you and I as we put to a listener, I believe, just last week, which is it's okay if you're not completely up to date on everything going on in Hearthstone esports, because you can just watch it and it's entertaining. And that's
I know.
That's what I'll be doing with Arlington. I agree with you, but I'm also totally ready for some proper competitive Hearthstone.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the players are actually going to put out there. So it's best of 5 conquest of the ban, so not shielded conquest, which is kind of unfortunate because I was really enjoying watching that format. But conquest of the ban is what it is. But what's really interesting is that qualified players are actually able to change their decks basically up until the moment that the event starts. And they've done this because the new cards only just released. So normally deck lists have to be submitted and verified and everything else, like usually about 24 hours before the event, sometimes a little bit longer, depending on who's the organizer and everything else. But this time there's 19 new cards. So the whole set hasn't released yet, obviously, from the single player Galakrond's Awakening. We're going to talk about the new stuff coming up in a segment in a couple minutes, but there's 19 of the cards of the 35 total that are going to be available to be played in Arlington. So they're letting players just play and change up their decks right up until the moment that the tournament starts. So this is a kind of really cool and interesting thing that they're doing. I don't think that they've ever done something like this before. They're usually they've done nerfs sometimes within a week of an event, but letting decks be changed and introducing a new card pool like this is kind of unprecedented.
Yeah, I think it would really hurt viewership if they didn't, because I want to see them play with the new cards. Even though there's not that many new cards that have just kicked the door down and invented new archetypes or made archetypes that weren't good now. But at the end, I feel like
I would have expected them to release the whole 35 cards a couple of weeks earlier, sort of thing.
Yes.
Start it in December, have everything out by now, let the meta settle for a week or two, and then have the first Masters Tour. That would be what I would think 2017 Hearthstone would do. But we're in post 2019 Hearthstone now. We're just throwing all the rules out the window.
Yeah, again, I would rather them watch. To me, this is another one of those things because people, I don't know. One of the things around Blizzard is obviously tinfoil hat theories, right? And a lot of folks, I think, there's always debates and theories about when things come out and why they come out when they do. And this is just another one of those where I'm like, y'all, stuff comes out from Blizzard when it's freaking ready. It takes a lot of coordination to make an event like this happen, to find a venue, to coordinate it and do everything that needs to be done. And obviously it also takes a lot to make an addition to a card game that's also a video game and get it out the door. And so I think that's what we're running into right now. This is when they could make Arlington happen. And this is when they could
the day for Arlington has been set for quite a while. Before BlizzCon, we knew the date. I feel like even with Blitzchung's ban, which happened at the beginning of October, we knew the date of Arlington at that time. So Arlington's been in the books for quite a while.
Sorry, I'm just Googling in the background real quick release dates of expansions because I feel like Descent of Dragons was kind of late compared to previous years. And of course,
I feel like you're right, but I feel like that also might just be a feeling. I'm feeling all the feelings about when that release date came out because I feel like I was excited because it was yay dragons.
So Descent of Dragons was December 10th. Rastigon's Rumble was December 4th, a full week earlier. And the year before that, December 10th for Kobolds and Catacombs. Okay, so that's closer to Descent of Dragons. You know what? Okay, and then Mean Streets of Gadgets in December 1st. So we've got earlier, about the same time, earlier, and then Descent of Dragons. Okay, never mind. I've just been playing this game too long because I was thinking of League of Explorers, which was launched 5 days after BlizzCon when they announced it. Yeah. Because I was on my honeymoon and sorry, everybody, I'm going to just wear this lei and go to Allure. Because that's what I did.